Maybe you believe that after 65, the biggest health dangers are in the rearview mirror. That with enough healthy meals and occasional walks, you've done all you could for your heart and brain. But let me ask you something. When was the last time you thought about what you drink before bed? Most seniors don't realize this simple nightly choice could be the silent hero or villain shaping their future. Tonight, we're uncovering a side of senior health that doesn't get enough spotlight. We're talking about 3 simple, science-backed drinks that elderly wisdom and modern medicine agree could be the secret to cleansing your arteries, reducing stroke risk, and even boosting your vitality long after 60. Let me take you back a few years to a man named Gerald. Gerald was 72, a retired engineer from Toronto who, by all appearances, had done everything right. He exercised 3 times a week, avoided fried foods, and had the blood pressure readings of a man 15 years younger. But one night after walking his golden retriever, Gerald felt a strange numbness creep up his arm. His wife rushed him to the hospital, and there he sat, stunned as doctors confirmed he'd suffered a minor stroke. Not massive, not disabling, but enough to terrify him. Enough to make him realize survival wasn't enough. Thriving after 65 required something more. Gerald's cardiologist said something that stuck with him like a quote pinned on a refrigerator door. Maintenance isn't enough if the pipes are still rusting inside. That was the moment Gerald decided to approach his health differently. To focus on cleansing, not just maintaining. And where he started might surprise you. His bedtime drink. The first drink Gerald discovered was pomegranate juice. And no, not the sugar-loaded blends you find hiding behind fancy labels, but pure, 100% pomegranate juice. Deep red and slightly tart. You see, pomegranate juice isn't just refreshing, it's packed with polyphenols, powerful antioxidants that have been shown in studies to actually reverse arterial plaque buildup. Research published in Clinical Nutrition revealed that seniors who drank pomegranate juice daily saw up to a 30% reduction in carotid artery thickness over the course of a year. That's not marketing. That's measurable transformation inside your very veins. Gerald made it simple. Every night after dinner, he poured himself a half glass of pure pomegranate juice, no additives, no ice, and sipped it slowly while watching the sunset. At his next checkup, doctors noted modest but steady improvements, better blood flow, lower blood pressure, and fewer irregular heart rhythms. For Gerald, it wasn't just about the numbers. It was about regaining something far more precious: peace of mind. Now you might be thinking, that's great for Gerald, but what if pomegranate juice isn't my thing? Fair question, because there's a second drink that seniors across Europe and North America are quietly discovering, and it's even easier to find. I'm talking about beetroot juice. I know, it doesn't sound glamorous. When most people think of beets, they think of earthy tasting salads or holiday side dishes. But beetroot juice holds a secret weapon for anyone over 60: natural nitrates. Once consumed, your body converts these nitrates into nitric oxide, a compound that relaxes and widens blood vessels, improving circulation and lowering blood pressure dramatically. The evidence? A groundbreaking study from Queen Mary University of London showed that drinking just 1 glass of beetroot juice a day could lower blood pressure by 7.7/5.2 mmHg. That's enough to lower stroke risk by more than 10%. Without medication. Let me tell you about Eleanor, a 69-year-old retired teacher from Dublin, who stumbled upon this secret almost by accident. Eleanor had been battling prehypertension for years, hovering just above healthy ranges but never quite sick enough for doctors to intervene. One evening at a farmer's market, she picked up a small bottle of beetroot juice on a whim. For circulation, the label said. She figured, why not? She started drinking half a glass before bed, not expecting much. 6 months later, her blood pressure had normalized for the first time in decades. Her energy levels improved, her morning walks grew longer, her mind sharper. It wasn't magic, it was nature, used with intention. And that brings me to a truth we often hear in elderly reflections. Health after 60 isn't about grand transformations. It's about small, deliberate habits, done daily, that add up to extraordinary results. Seniors who embrace this philosophy, whether through nutrition, exercise, or simple rituals like a nighttime drink, tend to not only live longer but live better. That's real elderly wisdom, passed down not through textbooks, but through life experience. So what have we learned so far? 2 simple drinks: pomegranate juice for arterial cleansing, beetroot juice for blood pressure support. But we're not finished yet. There's a third drink, perhaps the most overlooked, that ties everything together: supporting both heart and brain health while helping seniors sleep deeper and heal faster overnight. Let me tell you about it by introducing another story. Harold, a 75-year-old widower from Colorado. Harold had spent most of his life working with his hands, building homes, repairing bridges, restoring old barns. After losing his wife, he struggled with loneliness, restless nights, and creeping anxiety about his health. His doctor prescribed pills. Harold declined. Instead, Harold remembered something his grandfather used to do, drinking chamomile tea before bed. But Harold dug deeper. Modern research shows that chamomile isn't just soothing, it contains apigenin, a powerful antioxidant that binds to receptors in the brain, promoting sleep and reducing inflammation throughout the body. One particular study published in Phytomedicine found that seniors who drank chamomile tea daily experienced significant reductions in nighttime blood pressure spikes, one of the hidden triggers for strokes among the elderly. Harold made it a ritual. One warm mug of organic chamomile tea an hour before bed. No sugar, no discretions. He'd sit by the fireplace, sip slowly, and reflect on the day's blessings. A practice filled with motivation and quiet inspiration. Within 3 months, Harold wasn't just sleeping better. His blood pressure had stabilized, his energy returned, and most importantly, he felt connected again. To himself, to his past, and to the possibilities still ahead. These are the life lessons from the elderly we sometimes overlook in the rush for new trends and miracle cures. But real change, it's humble, it's patient, and it starts with choices as simple as what you pour into your cup tonight. So let me ask you, what are you drinking before bed? Are you giving your body the tools it needs to cleanse, repair, and protect itself? Or are you unknowingly leaving yourself vulnerable to the silent risks that build while you sleep? If this first part has opened your eyes, even a little, if you believe in drawing motivation from elderly wisdom and in finding inspiration in simple, timeless habits, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Elderly Reflections, and tell us in the comments, where are you watching from? Whether it's the US, Canada, Europe, or somewhere else entirely, we'd love to hear your story and build a global community of seniors and supporters who believe in thriving, not just surviving. In the next section, we'll explore in greater detail, focusing not only on what you drink, but also on how and when you drink it, to give your heart and brain health a powerful boost overnight. And trust me, you won't want to miss the next story I have for you. It's a reminder that even at 80, a small change can turn your life around completely. When you think about evening habits, you probably focus on brushing your teeth, setting the alarm clock, or turning off the lights. But how often do you think about the way your final drink of the day could either strengthen your heart and mind or quietly sabotage them? Earlier, we explored the powerful impact of pomegranate juice, beetroot juice, and chamomile tea, each one supported by both science and the wisdom of the elderly. But the truth is, it's not just what you drink. It's also how, when, and why you drink that determines the power. These small rituals. Tonight, we're going deeper into the strategy behind your nighttime drinks. Because after 60, every small choice matters even more, and the rewards can be nothing short of life-changing. Let's start by revisiting a story that opened my eyes years ago, long before I ever thought about senior health seriously. I met Judith at a community center in Vermont. She was 83 years old, with silver hair pulled back into a bun and bright blue eyes that sparkled with mischief. Judith was one of those rare seniors whose presence lit up every room, even if she barely said a word. When I asked her about her secret to such vitality, she didn't talk about medications or expensive therapies. She smiled, leaned in, and said, "I learned when to feed my body and when to let it heal." That insight stuck with me like a quote carved into stone. Timing, she said, was everything. Judith followed a simple evening rule: nothing heavy after 8 p.m., and her final drink, a carefully chosen elixir, always came no less than an hour before bed. Why? Because drinking too late, she explained, forces your heart to keep working all night long instead of resting and repairing. Modern science backs Judith's elderly reflections. Studies show that digestion can raise nighttime blood pressure, disturb heart rhythms, and even worsen sleep apnea in seniors. When your stomach is busy, your blood vessels are too. That's why the timing of your drink matters almost as much as the drink itself. Elderly wisdom teaches us that healing isn't just about adding good things, it's about removing unnecessary burdens. So if you want your pomegranate juice, or beetroot juice, or chamomile tea to truly work for you, here's the timing strategy inspired by seniors like Judith. Drink no later than 1 hour before bed. Let your body absorb the nutrients and settle. Then allow the natural prepare processes, lowering inflammation, relaxing arteries, restoring brain chemistry, to do their magic while you sleep undisturbed. But there's something even more important to talk about. Avoiding the hidden drink traps that can quietly sabotage all your efforts. Let's be honest, many seniors still reach for alcohol in the evenings, believing a glass of wine or whiskey will help them sleep. And while it's true, alcohol can make you drowsy faster, studies have shown it shatters deep sleep, increases nighttime heart rates, and spikes inflammation. A 2020 study published in Frontiers in Neuroscience revealed that even low levels of alcohol consumption before bed can disturb the heart's autonomic recovery processes in seniors, raising stroke risk instead of lowering it. That means the drink you think is helping you relax could actually be making you more vulnerable while you sleep. Let me tell you about Charles, a 74-year-old former Navy officer from Virginia. Charles loved his evening glass of bourbon. For decades, he believed it was his relaxation ritual. But after suffering too many strokes within a year, his neurologist pointed to nighttime alcohol as one of the silent culprits. Charles was devastated and stubborn. Changing a habit that felt so ingrained wasn't easy. But after some powerful motivation from his grandchildren, who begged him to be around longer, he swapped his bourbon for a nightly chamomile tea infused with lemon balm. It wasn't the same rush, the same heavy relaxation. It was subtler, gentler. But after 6 months, his sleep patterns improved, for his heart rhythm stabilized, and his doctors called his recovery remarkable for a man his age. This is what real elderly wisdom teaches us. Comfort isn't always good for you. Growth often means choosing a quieter, less dramatic pace, the kind that nourishes you rather than numbs you. Another common drink mistake seniors make: drinking too much water too close to bedtime. Hydration is essential for senior health, no doubt about it. But drinking large amounts of water after 8:30 p.m. can backfire badly. Frequent nighttime bathroom trips not only disturb your deep sleep, the stage when your brain and heart do most of their repair work, but can increase the risk of dangerous nighttime falls. A senior's body takes longer to stabilize blood pressure upon standing, and sudden movements in the dark can lead to slips, fractures, even head injuries. The inspiration here comes from Eduardo, an 80-year-old grandfather from Lisbon. Eduardo was fiercely independent. He still gardened daily and repaired bicycles for the neighborhood kids. But one evening trip to the bathroom ended with a fall that broke his hip. In recovery, he learned about managing fluid intake, focusing hydration during the day, drinking only small sips in the evening, and stopping all fluids an hour before bed unless medically necessary. Within months, Eduardo was back on his feet, wiser and more grateful than ever. It's not just about staying strong, he told me. It's about being smart. If you truly want to embrace the life lessons from the elderly, the ones they earn through blood, sweat, mistakes, and triumphs, then heed these truths. Time your drinks wisely, choose beverages that heal, not harm, and respect the deep, quiet work your body does in the stillness of night. Now, what should your perfect nighttime ritual look like if you want to combine motivation, inspiration, and elderly wisdom into one powerful, heart-protecting habit? Picture this. An hour before bed, you dim the lights. You pour half a glass of cool, unsweetened pomegranate juice, or a warm cup of beetroot juice with a splash of lemon. You sit by a window, breathe deeply, maybe write down one thing you're grateful for that day. You sip slowly, honoring your body not for what it once was, but for all it still is, and all it still can become. This simple act, what might seem like a tiny choice to outsiders, is actually a profound act of self-respect. It's motivation embodied. It's inspiration made visible. It's proof that elderly reflections aren't about giving up, but about doubling down on life. Before we dive into the next part, take a moment to ask yourself, tonight, what will you choose? Will you rush through another evening on autopilot, letting old habits write your future? Or will you step into the quiet power of intentional elderly wisdom, building strength one sip, one moment at a time? If this resonates with you, if you believe in honoring your body, your story, and your second or third act of life, make sure to like this video, subscribe to Elderly Reflections, and leave a comment telling us, where are you watching from? We want to hear your story. Whether you're sipping tea in Michigan, beetroot juice in Manchester, or pomegranate juice in Montreal, you are part of this movement, a global community fueled by senior health, life lessons, motivation, and the timeless inspiration that only age and experience can bring. Because now we're bringing it all together. We're creating your perfect bedtime blood cleansing routine step by step, with one last drink that might just change the way you sleep and live forever. There's something almost sacred about the last moments of the day, especially as we get older. The world outside slows down, the noise fades, and for a few precious minutes, it's just you, your body, your mind, your memories. But in those quiet hours, your body is busy, healing, rebuilding, fighting invisible battles you may never even feel, unless you arm it properly. Up to this point, we've explored 3 powerhouse drinks: pomegranate juice, beetroot juice, and chamomile tea, each one offering elderly wisdom distilled into simple, powerful habits. But now it's time to pull it all together into a full evening strategy. One that doesn't just add years to your life, but life to your years. Let's return to a lesson I learned not from a medical journal, but from a man named George. George was 86 when I met him at a senior center in Maine. His mind was sharp as a tack, his laughter contagious, and his handshake firm. What struck me wasn't just how healthy George was, it was how intentional he was about every small thing he did. Asked him once what his secret was, he leaned back, smiled, and said, "Son, at my age, every choice is a vote. A vote for strength or a vote for decline." Most people don't realize they're voting all day long. That quote has lived with me ever since. And George's nighttime drink ritual was a masterclass in voting for strength. So what did George do? He created a nightly restoration tray. Around 8 p.m. every night, George would sit down at his kitchen table and prepare 3 small drinks, each tailored to a specific mission. First, half a glass of pomegranate juice for artery cleansing. Second, a small cup of beetroot juice to lower blood pressure. And third, a steaming mug of chamomile tea to soothe inflammation and promote deep sleep. Not all at once, spread gently across an hour. No screens, no distractions, just quiet music, a little journaling, sometimes a phone call to an old friend. George wasn't just sipping drinks. He was preparing his body for battle. The silent battle of restoration that happens every night after 65. And his results spoke for themselves. A clear brain, strong heart, and a body that moved with grace well into his late 80s. Now, if you want to follow in the footsteps of real senior health champions like George, here's a simple evening routine you can adopt immediately. Step 1. About 2 hours before bedtime, drink half a glass, around 4 ounces, of pure, unsweetened pomegranate juice. This gives your body time to absorb the polyphenols before deep sleep sets in, reducing oxidative stress and beginning the gentle process of arterial cleansing. Step 2. About 90 minutes before sleep, pour a small glass, about 3 ounces, of beetroot juice. Drink it slowly. Let the dietary nitrates start relaxing your blood vessels, preparing your heart for a night of smooth, low-pressure circulation. Step 3. About 1 hour before bed, brew a cup of organic chamomile tea. Sip it mindfully, breathing in the warm, earthy aroma. As the apigenin binds to your brain receptors, it will help lower inflammation and signal your body that it's time to shift from active mode into repair mode. And here's the kicker. It's not just the drinks themselves. It's the intention you bring to the process. Elderly reflections remind us that how you do something often matters just as much as what you do. Slowing down, being grateful, paying attention to your body's signals instead of rushing to the next task, that's real inspiration. That's real elderly wisdom in action. But before you rush off to buy juices and teas, there's one last drink I need to introduce. One that very few people over 60 know about, yet it might be the missing piece that elevates your entire evening healing ritual. I'm talking about tart cherry juice. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Cherries, really? But tart cherry juice has been dubbed nature's sleeping pill for a good reason. It's rich in melatonin, the natural hormone that regulates your sleep-wake cycle. And seniors often struggle with melatonin production as they age, leading to restless nights and poor sleep quality, which in turn raises the risk of heart disease, stroke, memory loss, and depression. A 2012 study published in the European Journal of Nutrition found that seniors who drank tart cherry juice twice daily increased their sleep time by an average of 84 minutes per night. That's not just sleep, that's deep, rejuvenating, body-healing sleep. And when your sleep improves, your nighttime blood pressure drops more efficiently, your arteries get the break they need, and your brain clears out toxic waste that accumulates during waking hours. Let me share the story of Margaret, a 77-year-old widow from Boston. Margaret had spent years battling insomnia. Pills didn't help, they only made her feel groggy. She missed the feeling of real, deep rest, the kind that made you wake up feeling powerful, not just present. Her granddaughter, studying nutrition at college, suggested tart cherry juice. Skeptical but desperate, Margaret agreed to try 1 small glass an hour before bed, alongside her chamomile tea. Within 2 weeks, she noticed something she hadn't felt in years. Waking up refreshed, remembering her dreams, moving through the day with sharper energy. Margaret wasn't just sleeping better, she was living better. If you want to add tart cherry juice to your evening ritual, here's how. About an hour before bed, after your pomegranate and beetroot juices, sip 4 ounces of unsweetened tart cherry juice, not the sugary cocktail blends, real tart cherry juice. Let its natural melatonin work in harmony with your body's natural rhythms, supporting not just sleep, but heart and brain repair at the deepest level. Imagine this simple, powerful nightly sequence. A restorative drink every 30 minutes, a gratitude list, a few deep breaths, a light stretch, and then sinking into bed. Not with anxiety, not with stiffness, but with quiet confidence that you have armed your body to heal, recover, and thrive. That's the essence of elderly wisdom. That's the true power behind motivation and life lessons from the elderly. It's not about chasing fads. It's about returning to what has always worked. Small, meaningful habits, repeated faithfully over time. So as you close your evening tonight, think about the vote you're casting. Every drink, every choice, every quiet minute of care is a vote for your future. Will you vote for resilience, energy, and independence? Or will you unconsciously vote for decline? The choice, as always, is yours. And if you've found value in this journey, if you believe in the power of real elderly reflections, true senior health strategies, and daily motivation drawn from those who have walked the path before us, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe to Elderly Reflections, and leave us a comment. Where are you watching from? We would be honored to hear your story, your journey, your wisdom. Because no matter where you are, in New York, London, Melbourne, or a quiet village in Ireland, your story matters, your life lessons matter, and your next chapter can be even stronger, brighter, and more inspired than you ever imagined. Here's to your heart, here's to your brain, and here's to the small nightly choices that shape the strongest, most beautiful version of your life yet.